America is bringing to bear on the country?
Well, I am very concerned because it can only end in disaster. The history of US-Pakistan relations has been a very tormented one. Now, in order to continue and maintain an occupation of a country with 30 million people, they're prepared to destabilize a country with 170 million people. It doesn't make sense. One reason for that is that the army doesn't want to keep sending out its own soldiers to kill its own people, regardless of what their political or religious beliefs may be, because this sort of activity demoralizes an army at its very base. If the Pakistani army were to split as a result of this war in Afghanistan, it would be a disaster. When the footage of Taliban militants flogging a woman was shown on Pakistan television, there was horror and outrage throughout the country. And I think the government should have said, we will do a ceasefire, but we're not going to agree on you running any part of the country. Let's have a referendum. Let the people decide. And the Taliban wouldn't be cornered.
I'd like to add, Tariq, that the referendum of sorts did take place a year ago when there was an election in this area, and the Islamic parties were routed, replaced by the ANP. So the voice of the people was heard, but it's the government which was elected in the province that refuses to heed the voice of the people.
Someone else is not heeding the voice of the people, which is apparently the people in the Obama administration who are coming up with a new strategy for not only Afghanistan, but for what's called the AFPAC strategy. Let's look at what exactly are the main points of this new strategy before we start discussing.
Today I'm announcing a comprehensive new strategy for Afghanistan and Pakistan. We have a clear and focused goal: to disrupt, dismantle, and defeat Al-Qaeda in Pakistan and Afghanistan. These soldiers and Marines will take the fight to the Taliban in the south and the east. We will shift the emphasis of our mission to training and increasing the size of Afghan security forces. There are also those who've taken up arms because of coercion or simply for a price. These Afghans must have the option to choose a different course. We will forge a new contact group for Afghanistan and Pakistan that brings together all who should have a stake in the security of the region.
Well, I buy Obama. Sai, let me ask you something very specific. Do we have now an Obama war?
We're getting there. It's amazing. I will tell you that I do know, despite these words, that there are many people inside who think this war is not winnable.
Why?
Because it's just not winnable. Because the more General Motors goes to war, the old General Motors goes to war. When we have a combat battle, the next thing you know, airplanes and we're bombing villages. And every time we do a mission, the collateral damage is so high. So the way we operate is with overwhelming force protection, which means that we'd much rather, it's in them, I don't blame them, it's totally logical. You want to protect our soldiers, which means you shoot first. And with each new soldier, I had a serious American officer say to me, each soldier will mean one more casualty in Afghanistan and one more member of the Taliban.
Mr. Brahimi,
Nobody would think that this war can be won militarily. The thing is, what they are trying to do, I believe, is see if they can have what they call a new strategy to avoid defeat and to see how they can end this in a positive manner.
but Mr. Brahimi, they've already started the bombardment through the drones. And they've already threatened, and they actually made a deal with the Pakistanis about not sending, for the time being, troops on the ground. So the idea of the war option is not just on the table, it's being implemented in Pakistan.
If there is anybody who thinks they can win this war militarily, I haven't met them. And if there are, I don't think they are right. I cannot win this war.
Let me ask my good friend this.
Yeah.
The president just said we will defeat the Taliban. Is he talking about psychologically?
This is Al-Qaeda. The Taliban in Afghanistan cannot be defeated. I mean, they can be defeated in 30 years if you can put 200 or 300,000 soldiers on the ground.
Mr. Nawaz, you've written that book called Swords on Pakistan recently about the nature of life, military and society in Pakistan. If America couldn't transform a country of 23 million people like Afghanistan. It's going to be able to transform, defeat, win a country like Pakistan of 175 million people.
I don't think that the attempt is to win a war in Pakistan. I think at best the United States should look at Pakistan as a partner and try and help convince them that this is their war.
I'm sorry, Mr. Howard, I'm not going to get you off the hook on this one, because they are using their own drones, their Predator airplanes, with some PlayStation 5 machinery out of here, out of Washington, it seems, and bombarding